What is up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Sunday night to Late Night Agenda. As always, I'm your host Craig, and I hope that you all are in fine fettle wherever it is in the world that you are. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and join us. I've been reading the chat beforehand, and I knew that the topic of Felipe Coutinho was going to be one that was going to be divisive amongst Liverpool fans. I do like to read the comments before I start to stream sometimes, just to get a flavour of what I'm in for when I come on here. And look, there is loads for us to get through tonight, my friends. It is only 3 more sleeps until the Premier League is back. I know the Reds aren't back in action until this day week, but Manchester City are going to be playing Arsenal in a game that does have some connotations for Liverpool's title hope. So we will be covering that on the channel. Of course, my friends, as I promised you, the watch-alongs are going to come thick and fast when the Reds are back in action and when the Premier League kicks back off. We'll be starting off with that game at the Etihad on Wednesday night. We'll be doing it on here, and as you can see on the screen as well, we're also going to be live on Hot Mic. The good news is we're finally starting to inch towards that 2,000 follower mark on Hot Mic. We're just 36, 37 people away from it. People saying, is he late again? Sometimes I'm baffled. I'm baffled, ladies and gentlemen. I'm baffled. Sometimes I'm a little bit late because I'm just going back over my material and making sure that I have the articles in the right order and I've got stuff to do. I also have a family, kids, a wife, stuff that I need to do in my own life as well. So I love how snidey people get towards me so quickly. How about maybe just calm down? I'll be in, we'll have some fun. As always, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I want to start off with the big news, because this is what you're all here for, so let me get straight into it as well. Willow said, Craig, where are you still playing bingo? Do you know what, Willow? You can fuck off. So that's 2 snidey comments, you're gone. Right, anyway, I'm sure you've probably all seen the latest rumours linking Coutinho with a possible move back to Liverpool. That's what the title of tonight's stream is about, and this is what I'm sure the majority of our conversations are going to be around. Kevin Palmer has written a piece in the Sunday World about it, which says that he wants a Liverpool return. He makes no bones about it. He said that he wants to come back to Liverpool. And now I know that Kevin has gotten things right in the past. He has gotten some stuff right around Liverpool, and like all journalists, sometimes he says stuff or they write stuff with the best of intentions, and sometimes football moves quickly and things just don't happen for a reason. So I'm never going to go 2-footed in on the journalist really for these type of things, because I always like to take people at face value, but I don't personally see Felipe Coutinho coming back to Liverpool for a number of reasons. I'm going to go through my reasons, and I'm happy and delighted to go through whatever you guys think and get your opinion on it as well. Now, the thing is, the article says that Felipe Coutinho made a personal plea to Jurgen Klopp to come back to Liverpool. It goes on to suggest that he's willing to take a pay cut, which is great. I mean, part of me is vindictive in that he made his bed, he can lie in it, but there's other reasons why I don't think this transfer will happen, and I don't mean to just come in and piss all over people's cornflakes. I'm genuinely going to try and articulate why I don't think this transfer is going to happen, pushing aside all the emotions that of course I feel, and I'm sure a lot of other Liverpool fans feel. Now, first and foremost, at this moment in time, we know that the finances for Liverpool and other Premier League clubs are absolutely all over the shop, and nobody knows when fans are going to be able to get back inside stadiums and when clubs are going to be able to start getting that much needed match day revenue back in as well, along with other things like television money and stuff like that. But here's what gets me. I spoke to you guys last night about a brilliant podcast, the Blood Red podcast that David Maddock did with The Echo, and he went into detail about Liverpool's financial situation, the financial situation for the Premier League as a whole, and to what we're trying to do to cut our cloth to be able to survive and get through this as best we can. Now, one of the things that caught my attention when David Maddock was in that podcast was that he spoke about Liverpool being cautious about extending the contract of Gini Wijnaldum, somebody who no Liverpool fan wants to see leave the club. We absolutely want to see him here. Now, if we're struggling to be able to secure and commit to a financial package to keep Gini Wijnaldum, one of our best performers since he's come to Liverpool Football Club, one of the most consistent players at the club, if we're having to, and I'm not trying to say we're nickel and diming Gini Wijnaldum, far from it. I think there's will on both sides to get that over the line, but if we're having to worry about that, and we're looking at maybe extending the contract and giving a pay rise to Virgil van Dijk, we're going to be giving Harvey Elliott a new contract as well, I just don't see where the money comes from. Now, we had a chance to sign Felipe Coutinho before he went back to Bayern, before he went to Bayern Munich. That was well covered in the media, and I think the loan fee, if my memory serves me right, at the time was going to be around £8 million a season, along with his wages. Now, this report does, in fairness, say that Coutinho would be willing to take a pay cut to come back to Liverpool, and that's great. That's great. I understand that. I'm sure that he realises that it probably wasn't the best move for him to go to Barcelona, and it hasn't worked out. And you know, I've got my own feelings about that, which I've said numerous times on the channel, but the reason that I don't see it happening isn't because of my bitterness. It isn't because of my feelings about the way Coutinho left the club. It's purely from a financial perspective, because if we want to put away some money and give it to people who deserve it, give Gini Wijnaldum his new contract. Give Virgil van Dijk his new improved contract. Barcelona have got themselves in a bit of a pickle. I think it's fair to say. We've seen Felipe Coutinho linked with Arsenal. We've seen him linked with Liverpool. We've seen him linked with a move to Newcastle should that takeover go through. I think at one stage there was even a few rumours about him potentially going to Manchester United. So I'm going to go over to you guys and see how you feel about this, because I don't see it happening. But the reason I don't see it happening is purely this time. Usually it's an emotional one for me, but this time it's purely down to the finances of it. So I'm going to come over to you guys and see what you guys think for a take on this before I go on to my next topic. Jenny Woodward said, "Hi Craig, Coutinho would only be a Lallana replacement. How times change." Well, I get where you're coming from, but I would hope that Curtis Jones becomes the Lallana replacement. Thank you, Dugout, for the super sticker, and thank you to Joanne as well, by the way, for the on-set sticker. I really appreciate that. If Coutinho comes back, then I'll support him if he wears the shirt. If he doesn't, I'll support those who have. I mean, that's a fantastic thing to say, Carl, and that is a lovely sentiment that I'm sure is echoed by a lot of Liverpool fans, mate, around the world. I want him back. He's class with us, said Matt Rigg. I think it's highly unlikely. Coutinho just isn't a Klopp player, said Hex Boom. And that is an interesting point, actually, Hex. Well raised, mate. I didn't even write this down in my own notes when I was talking about this. I remember having conversations with people at the time, and there was talk of would Firmino leave, maybe would Coutinho leave, and both of them were being linked with Barcelona at the time. And I remember sitting down with people, and more than 2, 3, 4 people, I'm talking probably 8 to 10 people at the time, and having a conversation about if you had to lose one of them, who would you rather lose? And it was always Coutinho, because a lot of people had the same belief that Coutinho just isn't a Jurgen Klopp type of player. And if Coutinho wasn't at Liverpool Football Club before Klopp arrived, I don't think it's the type of player Klopp would have went out and signed. I've no doubt Klopp enjoyed coaching him, and Klopp enjoyed the level of performances that Coutinho put in when he was here, because there's nobody, not even me, who was very angry about the way he left, who would deny how good he was when he was here. He was absolutely excellent. But what we seen when he left was we seen players that step up. I mean, one really good example of somebody who stepped up was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Almost like the flick of a switch when Coutinho left, we began to see players take a little bit more responsibility on the ball. Whereas when Coutinho was here, it was kind of like just give Phil the ball and hope that he can do something magic with it. And Klopp likes players to step up. He likes players to take ownership of a situation. Coutinho did that in spades, no doubt about it, but I also want to hark back to the way he left, and I'm going to try and do this without getting emotion involved in it. There was a really fantastic piece written on this by Melissa Reddy around the time. I can't remember, I'm sure if you Google the article it will come up. I can't remember if it was with Goal or if Melissa had moved on to a different platform at the time. But she wrote a really good piece on this, in which it said that Felipe Coutinho went behind the manager's back and went to others. Now again, if I'm paraphrasing this, so I mightn't have all the details exactly right, and I don't want to undermine Melissa's work because it's a fantastic article. But from my memory of it anyway, Felipe Coutinho went behind the manager's back and approached other senior players at Liverpool Football Club to try and put a bit of pressure on to get his dream move to Barcelona. And I think from what I read, or what I remember from that article, that was the last straw for Jurgen Klopp. He just wasn't having it. And that was it. He sanctioned the sale of Felipe Coutinho to Barcelona, and off he went, and the rest is history. So for me, it's purely about the financial aspect of it, and I just think I would rather see Gini Wijnaldum given a new deal, Virgil van Dijk given a new deal, Harvey Elliott given a new deal, and those players who deserve to be rewarded for a job really, really well done here at Liverpool. Shall we contact you on your Twitter handle? I'm not sure what this is about, buddy, sorry. If anyone ever wants to contact me, by the way, the best way is usually by email. You can get us contact@AnfieldAgenda.com or AnfieldAgenda@Outlook.com, mate. If this is in relation to the call with the supporters club, I'm happy to do it, mate. I just haven't been able to respond yet. I'm really sorry, but if you want to just send me an email, contact@AnfieldAgenda.com. I promise you I'll get back to you ASAP, buddy. Right, there was another super chat there I wanted to get to as well. Love your channel and videos, Craig. I'm part of the official Liverpool Supporters Club in Poon. We tried to contact the fellow Reds. We'd be honoured if you could be part of our live chats for a few minutes. Yeah, happy to. As I said, mate, absolutely happy to. It would be a pleasure to come on and chat with you guys. Just hit me up on email. I don't really be on social media much these days, rather than doing a few little bits on our Instagram account. But by all means, mate, it will be a pleasure to come and chat with you guys about the Reds. No problem whatsoever. And thank you so much for getting in touch. Right, the team was mainly built around Coutinho when he was at Liverpool. Said, well, hello there. What else we got? Why are we as Liverpool fans so arrogant? We need more players to compete for the title in later years. I don't know if it's arrogance. I don't like my fellow Liverpool fans being belittled like that. Klopp has to build a second team. There's going to be no denying that. But this is still a relatively youngish team together, and I'm not talking about the individual age of players, because you could pull up players who are 29, 30 years of age, but this group have only been together really for, let's say, 24 months, so I still think they have a bit more to come with the current group that are here. And I think what we're doing now is we're setting ourselves up for a future raid on the transfer market by just waiting and seeing what happens in the world of football finance. And again, I'm not going to belittle anybody here who comes on and wants Felipe Coutinho back at Liverpool, because the guy's a talented footballer. There's no denying it. But as I said, my point of view here is simply that I just don't think the money's there. And if it is there, I think it would be better spent giving Genie a new contract. Craig, I was watching Schalke today and I think Weston McKennie could be a great player for us to sign, said Ryan Walsh. I've seen a little bit of that game, mate. He was somebody who was linked with Liverpool. Obviously, he's is he a Canadian or an American international? I think he's an American international that plays for Schalke. And I remember, I think it was in the winter window we were linked with him, but I haven't watched too much of him. I know Schalke haven't been in great form, and David Wagner's gone there. And today, when they were playing against Leverkusen, they pretty much had a makeshift team in there, bar a couple. Jack definitely wants to bring Coutinho back by the looks of it as well. We need a creative midfielder like Coutinho, said Nicholas. Crosby's in the house. How are you, Connor? Right, what else we got? Craig, why can't we afford a loan? Are we that skint? Right. So if he signed for us on loan, let's look at that as an example. Kia Jarabshin is going to want his pockets lined, first and foremost. So let's assume that Kia Jarabshin gets 3-4 mil, maybe out of this. The loan fee to Barcelona, if it's off the same transfer fee as the last one, 8 million. So that's what? Roughly 12 million already. And that's before Coutinho's wages. Even if he takes a hit on wages, it's still, I don't know how much he's on. I'd be just making it up right now. But I imagine minimum he's going to be on somewhere around 150 grand a week. He's probably on much more than that, but let's even go with that. That's a lot of money. That's what, over the course of a season, probably 18 to 20 million quid there, roughly. I just think it would be better spent elsewhere, rather than bringing in somebody on loan for one season who at the end of that season would then be 29 years of age. And what if he has a great season? Do you think Liverpool are going to go out there and spend 80 million quid to bring him in at 29 years of age? I genuinely don't see it myself, so I don't see the benefit of it. I would rather get Curtis Jones minutes. I would rather get Harvey Elliott minutes. I would rather get Raheem Brewster minutes. I would rather get people who are going to secure the long-term future and success of this football club minutes than bring back in Felipe Coutinho with really short-term thinking. Then again, that's just my opinion. Chelsea FC said, how are you doing, Craig? I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you? Dylan O'Rourke, thank you for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. Really hope Curtis Jones gets a chance. He's a baller, said David Farman. Maths is not your strong suit. Pretty much is my strong suit, mate. So let's say 8 million and 4 million, that's 12 million, and 150 grand a week is about 6.5 million quid a year, which adds up to 18.5 million quid a year. So Ricky, I think you might want to get your fucking calculator out, princess, rather than having a sly dig at me about my maths, because I think you'll find my maths is pretty fucking spot on there, pal. 20 million or 20 grand a week is about $1 million quid a year, mate. So 150 grand a year or a week is about what? as I said, well, 7.5 million quid. So probably 19.5 million quid. So even more than I said. So yeah, rather than having a pop at my maths, maybe get the old calculator out, princess, or go get yourself an education rather than having a dig at me over my maths, which are pretty good, to be fair. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't know in this world, but the old arithmetic is one of my better points. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, quick maths. Right, let's move on to the next thing anyway, and I promise I'll circle back around to this one, and I've been looking forward to getting this off my chest all day, ladies and gentlemen. So, Stan Collymore has been spouting his ridiculous opinions yet again, and it's become a bit of a habit for Stan lately. He's talking us down, and he's talking down the current Liverpool team's achievements. Here's some of what he's written in his latest Daily Mirror column. Liverpool are a fine team, and they'll deservedly have the title wrapped up within 2 games, but while I will celebrate my old club's success, I will also lament that their domination isn't just because Jurgen Klopp's side have been so good, but also because plenty of others around them have been so bad. Liverpool have been exceptional, but will they go down as one of the great all-time English clubs? No, for the reasons above, they will not. Now that is just a sample of what he wrote in the article. The full article, of course, is there for everybody to go and read themselves, but here's my take on this, ladies and gentlemen. If only Stan put the same amount of effort into playing for us that he does into talking us down, then maybe we'd give a shit about what Stan Collymore has to say. Stan's not fit to lace this current squad's boots, and I'm really fucking annoyed that he tries to belittle this current team's achievement when he wasted his entire career. I'm not going to take cheap shots about his off-field antics because everybody knows that he's a bitter man and he looks at this current Liverpool squad and he hates that he sees people who are actually playing for the badge and are actually putting in 100% every fucking week, which we all know Stan Collymore simply did not do during his entire career, not just during his time at Liverpool. So this squad will go down as one of, if not the greatest teams in Premier League history. And your bitterness, Stan, won't tarnish that, my friend. So keep spouting your nonsense and we'll keep calling you out on your bullshit. Because that's what it is, Stan. It is complete and utter bullshit. This team could go on to get 101 points in the Premier League. You're going to sit there and tell us, as Liverpool fans, that one of our own former players thinks they won't go down as one of the greatest teams in Premier League history? Come on, mate. Hang your head in shame. You go on to say that it's because everybody around us is so poor. Really? Were you saying that last season when Manchester City racked up 98 points, Stan? Were you lamenting about how poor the league was then? No, of course you weren't, mate. Because you know what we all know. Attacking Liverpool or Liverpool fans gets you news. It gets you attention. And that's what you strive for, Stan. That is what you exist for. And yeah, I understand the hypocrisies, of what I'm saying right now, because I'm on here doing the very same thing. I'm on here trying to gain attention to myself, but I didn't have the career you had, mate. I didn't have the opportunity to put on that Liverpool shirt because I wasn't good enough. You did have that opportunity. You had the opportunity to represent our magnificent club and you fucking blew it, pal. So rather than belittling this amazing group of players, how about you just shut the fuck up and concentrate on whatever it is you're doing right now, because we don't give a shit what you have to say, Stan. So mate, leave this group alone, appreciate the greatness and respect the club that paid your fucking wages for many years, mate. Just do one, because I'm absolutely sick of reading. I'm sick of you getting the airtime, mate. I'm just going to leave it there, because I don't want to go on anymore about Collymore, because everybody knows about Stan Collymore. Everybody knows that he's just a bitter, twisted clown that has nothing good to say. Oh, fuck it. We have enough stuff coming at us from outside forces. We've got enough exclamation marks. We've got enough fucking asterisks. We've got enough null and void brigade out there without having one of our own former fucking players out there trying to belittle this group's achievements. It's just ridiculous, mate. You're an embarrassment to our badge. You're an embarrassment to this club. And I wish you never played for us, mate. I really fucking do. Because outside of that Newcastle game, I can't really think of what else you did for us, mate, other than drain a wage and not show up half the time and go around looking like a fucking clown. So just stop it, Stan. Shut the fuck up, mate. Just shut the fuck up. Negative attention seeking is a poor quality in a person, said Liz Golden. What else we got? 44 games unbeaten, impossible over 101 point season. Premier League winners, World Cup winners, beat City, United, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, beat everyone this season. Yeah, so bad. His point is that the rest of the league is terrible. They aren't. He's talking about financial differences in what people are able to attain with their squads. There is more money in football and in the Premier League than there has ever been. And if you want to talk about clubs being able to have money to build their squads, look at how well we have built our squad. We have built it with a lot less expenditure than Manchester City, Manchester United, many other clubs above us in that league table of expenditure or net expenditure, and that I'm not qualified to talk about. But just going off really raw numbers there, you can see that we haven't had more money than everybody else to play with, and that we've been really clever in the way we've gone about our business. And the fact that Manchester United, Manchester City, well, not so much with City to be fair, because they're getting some return for the money, but United as an example have pissed a load of money up against the wall, and you're there crying that there isn't enough money in the league. You're there saying that Liverpool haven't got opposition, they haven't got teams good enough to make them worthy of being one of the greatest teams in Premier League era. What about those United teams that won titles with points in the 80s? Where was this conversation then? I don't remember anybody saying that they don't need to go down as one of the great teams in English football history, which they absolutely were. Or that Arsenal invincible side that everybody holds up in laud, and rightly so, because they're the only team to go through a season unbeaten. I think if my maths is correct, if my memory is correct, we've already eclipsed or equaled that points total, and yet we still have 9 fucking games to go. So just cut it out, mate. There's no need for it. I know you don't give a shit what I have to say. Why would you? I'm a nobody. I get that. But you are somebody, mate. You have a platform, and you are supposed to lift people up with that platform. You are supposed to show yourself and the clubs that you represented in a positive light, mate. And on more than one occasion, you have not done that. And you continue to run your mouth about a football club that you let down week after fucking week, Stan. So just shut it, mate. Just you do your radio show, whatever it is the fuck you do these days, because I only ever see you when you've got something negative to say pop up on my timeline, because rather than, well, I try and avoid anything to do with you like the plague, mate. So yeah, just fuck off. Jealousy is killing him, said David Carroll. What have we got? Score prediction versus Everton. Oh, it's a really tough one. I'm going to go 2-0 into the Reds, mate. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to the Reds. Solskjaer has a higher net spend in one transfer window than Klopp has in 5 years, said Liverpool 6 times. I had a lot of respect from years ago, scored a few great goals too, said Justin the Woods. Look, I'm not even going to take the cheap shots against Collymore. I'm not going to do it because it's too easy, it's too low hanging fruit. I tried to just make my argument based on what he was talking about, and I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. We've got enough people trying to fucking belittle what we're doing from the outside without having one of our own former players to talk about it. If you had to sign 3 players in this window for 150 million less, who would you get? Ben White, so the young centre-back that's on loan at Leeds but is a Brighton player. Probably Houssem Aouar, and what have I spent there? Let's say I've probably spent about 65 million. I know somebody said earlier on that maths wasn't my strong point, but in my limited maths that leaves me about 85 million left to spend. I'd probably like to try and get Kai Havertz, but I'm going to go on now and talk about Kai Havertz in a different sense, because the Express are reporting that Chelsea are in negotiations with Bayer Leverkusen over a potential deal to bring Kai Havertz to Stamford Bridge. Now, it's believed Chelsea have offered around £75 million for the player, but that Leverkusen are looking to hold out for their valuation, which I think is somewhere around £90 million, if reports are to be believed. So again, Chelsea look like they're serious in this window. They're gone out there. They look like they're going to bring in Timo Werner. Excuse me. They look like they're trying to bring in Kai Havertz, and they've been linked with Ben Chilwell and a few others as well. So yeah, it looks like Frank Lampard's definitely been given a few quid to spend during this window. Man with the plan said, well said Craig, Collymore's a disgrace and embarrassment for our club. Would you rather buy Werner for 50 million or Coutinho for 50 million? Werner, 100%. I mean, apart from any other reason, with Werner you've at least got a future there. So what is Timo Werner now? 23, 24 years of age. So he's got 9-10 years left at the very top. So even if he came to Liverpool for 5 years, you could probably still, if you wanted to move on somewhere and recoup what you've spent. So yeah, I just don't see the need for the Coutinho stuff. Nor do I want him back at the club, if I'm being honest about it, but I'm trying to push that aside and just give my honest opinion. Coutinho needs forgiveness. Why? Why does he need forgiveness? What has he done to get forgiveness? Was it the way that he snidely looked to get out of the club? Was it the way that he tried to portray that he had a fallout with Jurgen Klopp? Was it the way that his own camp tried to say that he was being bullied at the football club? What about him deserves forgiveness, mate? I don't know. I mean, if you want to forgive him, fair enough, but I don't want to forgive him and then pay him more fucking millions to come back to the club that he was happy to leave high and dry. So, nah, for me, no. But then again, that's just my opinion. And I understand that other people are probably less vindictive and spiteful than I am. I get that. I appreciate that. And you know what? I wish I was that way inclined, but I'm a little bit more bitter about certain things. Who's Collymore? Exactly, mate. Who the fuck is Collymore? There you go. Do I like Raheem Sterling? I don't know what you mean by like. I really rate him as a footballer. He's an excellent footballer, but I don't know Raheem Sterling, so I don't really have much of an opinion on him. I've more understanding of why Raheem Sterling left Liverpool at the time he did than Felipe Coutinho, if I'm being honest with you. And even at that, I still am angry about Coutinho and Sterling leaving. But nobody can deny that Raheem Sterling has gone on to improve himself as a player and has gone on to win a lot of stuff. And it's taken Liverpool years to get up to the level that Raheem Sterling probably would have wanted Liverpool to be at. So yeah, it's a difficult one. I'm never going to be his biggest fan, but I do think that I can understand that move more at the time than the Felipe Coutinho one, if I'm being honest, because Liverpool were really heading in the right direction when Coutinho left. Why aren't we selling players to fund transfers? Nobody's saying that we aren't selling players on. The window isn't open yet, buddy, so we don't know what's happening. We may well move on. Maybe Marco Grujic, we could possibly move on Harry Wilson, but nobody knows what this window is going to hold. Nobody knows how much clubs or how much money clubs are going to have to pay for, or to play with, I should say. So I genuinely don't know. Bryant said Coutinho has realised finally that the grass isn't greener on the other side and is using fake pain to gather sympathy. He's not going to get any sympathy from me whatsoever, I can promise you that one. And Elijah John 5 said, and Klopp was proven right. Neves and Traore, said Paul Scott. I think that was in relation to the 150 million quid question. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you for one quick favour. As you can see on the screen there now, we have a code up for Hot Mic. If you're going to join us for our watch-alongs when the Premier League is back, we do ask that you try out the L Hot Mic app for us, because it is where we're going to be hosting our watch-alongs, as well as, of course, on YouTube. Hot Mic is a fantastic platform that allows you to sync up your favourite commentators' match commentary direct to how you're watching the game. So let's say, as an example, if we're playing against Everton and you switch on, you open up the app and you go in, you find the game and you say, right, who's doing this game? Oh, look, Anfield Agenda are doing it, cool. Click on us for the game, and then a big green sync button appears in the middle of your screen. You click on that and it syncs up where it listens to your television, and it syncs up the point of the game that you're at with wherever my commentary is. So if you're 2 minutes behind, you don't need to worry about it. Hot Mic has got you covered. The app is completely free, which is absolutely beautiful. You can download it from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. When you download the app, you're asked for a sign-up code. That is Anfield, as you can see on the screen there now. And the feedback that we get from people that have used Hot Mic is class. So if you want to help us out, please do download that app. We're going to be there on Wednesday for the Manchester City Arsenal game. We're going to be there on Sunday, obviously, for the Reds game, and probably do a few more in between as well, and loads more before the season ends. I did see as well that somebody earlier on asked about how to become a member on the channel. Just click that blue join button there, mate, and you can become a member. We have had loads of people sign up over the past few weeks, so thank you so much to everybody that's come, join the channel, everybody that hits the subscribe button to just become part of the family. But if you're like, who have we got in the chat? John Hamilton, Rob Shepherd, who else is there that's a member? Wonton Super Noodles. If you want to become a member like those guys, just click that join button. Membership's just 99p a month, and you get use of all the cool emojis that you see on the screen there now from Liverpool You Never Walk Alone. I think there's about 13 or 14 of them in total, or maybe there's a few less. I can't remember. You also get the Anfield Agenda badge beside your name, and your name appears in green to me, which makes it easier for me to spot and read out your comments. So again, thank you very much to everyone that has signed up to become a member. It really does mean a lot to us. Also, a little shout out to our social accounts. So let me get that up there for you. If you like us on here and you want more Liverpool content from Anfield Agenda, we are also on Twitter and we're on Instagram. As you can see there, it's just really straightforward at Anfield Agenda on both those platforms. Instagram has really started to take off for us over the past month or so. So if you're an Instagram user, go over there, give us a follow, let us know about it, comment on whatever things. We try to be as interactive on there as well as we can. I do the odd Instagram live. I do stuff on the Instagram story as well, and of course Connor puts up all the latest news and Liverpool related images. So again, if you enjoy what we do on here, we'd love to get to know you on other platforms as well. Right, what else have we got? So, the latest round of Premier League testing, I wanted to touch on that one real quick. It has the 8th round of testing, I believe, and it's come back with 2 positive tests from the 1,200 people that were tested. That means in total there have been 14 positive test results from the 7,474 tests that have been carried out by the Premier League. As with all positive results, the people in question, one of whom was a Norwich player, will self-isolate for a period of 7 days before being retested. It's also been confirmed that the player in question for Norwich featured in a recent behind closed doors friendly against Spurs, who've come out and said that the player has had no close contact with any Spurs players, and therefore none of the Spurs players will need to go into self-isolation. This hasn't stopped social media from being flooded with the null and void merchants again, by the way, and they do make me laugh because I don't know how much clearer we can be. The league is not going to be null and voided, so you can stop with your ridiculous praying. I don't know what you're doing. If you're down there with your rosary beads or whatever it is that you're doing, praying that the coronavirus runs rampant. Imagine wanting that to happen. Imagine wanting this shit to happen so Liverpool don't win the title. It's pathetic, and it's not going to be null and voided. If the league had to be curtailed for whatever reason, it would probably end up going to a points per game like most of the other leagues have been decided on. And either way, we're still going to win the fucking league. So just get used to it, get to supporting your team and hope that they have the best end to the season as possible. And be a decent human being like the rest of us and hope that nobody has to suffer with the coronavirus. Hope that nobody gets a positive test result back and that everybody can get on with their lives and we can all live, go and see our friends and families and loved ones again, rather than living in this bubble of negativity. I don't get it. It is football at the end of the day. There is more important shit in the world, and I get that the null and voider is going to come back at me and go, well, there's the point, but it's also the point that we're all, and I include myself in this, starting to go back to shopping centres, going to beaches, people are going to parks, you're going out for walks with your friends. These players are wrapped in as much of a bubble as possible. They are tested every couple of days. They have the best of healthcare. They have taken every precaution possible. And surely you all want football to come back. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the Premier League to come back, as I know you all have as well, because it gives us a sense of release, it gives us something to look forward to, and it gives us a sense of normality. So please just stop the null and void shit, because it's not going to happen. We're going to win the league. It's going to happen, and I want the league to play out because I want those clubs that are chasing European places to have the right to fight for those places. I want the clubs that are down in the relegation spots to have the opportunity to fight their way out of those relegation spots. I would hate to see a club relegated on a points per game basis. Everybody deserves the opportunity to decide their own fate. So this is what I'm saying. I don't get it. As football fans, putting aside your bias against our club, I get it. I know that you don't want to see Liverpool win the league. I know that you wanted to say, 30 years, 31 years, 32 years. But just realise it's not going to happen. We're going to win the fucking league. We were really close last year. City were fantastic, put together that run. They deserve their title. Well done. But we've come back this year and absolutely fucking trounced it and deserve to win the league title. So just show a little bit of good grace and just say, you know what? Fair play. They deserve to win the title. You can say you hate us. By all means. Say you hate us. Call us arrogant. Call us whatever the fuck you want. But just show some appreciation. Don't be a Stan Collymore. I think that's what we're all saying here. Don't be a Stan Collymore. Right, let me get up. There's a couple of new members that I want to say hello to as well. And thank you so much, by the way, for signing up. So, Dylan O'Rourke, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, my friend. Pleasure to have you with us. Carl Heath, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. And there was one more down the end there. Stephen Taggart, welcome. Stephen, it's Stephen. How are you, Stephen? Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. God, long time no see, Stephen. How are you, pal? Right, lovely to see you all in again, ladies and gentlemen. That's, I think, pretty much me done with what I have to say. Oh, no, there's one more thing. I want to take a minute to send our best wishes to Timo Arioni, who was stretchered off today while playing a game for Mainz in the Bundesliga. Mainz, who's currently on loan out from Liverpool. He suffered a rather nasty fall. Now, the good news is, it was reported that he was conscious and that he was talking in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. So from all of us Liverpool fans, mate, we're wishing you a speedy recovery, and I hope you get back playing as soon as possible, buddy, because you're a Red, and wherever you are in the world, mate, you're going to be a Red forever. So yeah, get well soon, pal, from all of us. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my news section done. So I'm going to come over to you guys now for the last half hour or so of the stream. Whatever it is you want to talk about, ladies and gents, the floor is yours. So yeah, keep going. Loads of people in the chat, by the way, so thank you for being with us. I wasn't expecting it to be this busy. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts on whatever it is. Maybe you're a Chelsea fan that's excited about Timo Werner. Whatever it is, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. William McCullough has raised a point that we talked on last night. He said, I think Karius should stay and give him another chance. The thing about this one, mate, is I genuinely don't mind if Loris Karius stays or if Adrian stays. But one of them will probably have to move on. And where I struggle at the minute is both of them have come out and said that they plan on being at Liverpool. And look, while it would be great for us to have all that cover in the squad, I also think that realistically it's only the second choice keeper that might get some games, whether they be cup games or if Alisson got injured the way Adrian stepped in and played there. So I can understand why some people might think that Karius is a better option as a backup goalkeeper. Where I worry is that, let's say he's got 2 years left. If my memory serves me correct, William, I think he's got 2 years left, mate, on his Liverpool contract. I don't want to see him just run that down and just go off on a free. Or I don't want to see us just loaning him out until his contract runs down either. That's the way Liverpool used to do things in the past. We were stuck with players on pretty high wages that we couldn't get rid of. So we basically just had to loan them until their contracts run out. Markovic, as an example, is one of those type of players. So again, I'll put it to the chat. What do you guys think? Would you rather Adrian as backup keeper, or would you give Karius a chance to come back in and potentially rebuild his Liverpool career? Wasn't Lonergan only signed on a year's contract? Yes, I think he just extended it like Adam Lallana, Stephen, just till the end of the season, mate. Again, if my memory is correct. And Lonergan may well join the coaching staff when he finishes up. I don't know. Right, what else is there? It's okay for me to ignore my husband during the match on Father's Day. Of course it is, Liz. He'll absolutely understand. Just do something nice for him before or after the game, Liz. And, you know, there is a get out of jail card here, Liz, because he's not your dad. So, you know, that's the trick that you can pull if you wanted to. But look, I know you're a lovely lady, and I'm sure that your husband is a lovely fella as well. So, spoil him rotten, but just take an hour and a half out of the day for yourself, Liz, to go and watch the game. Paul Scott said, can you give a shout out to me ma? I don't know your ma's name, mate, but shout out to Paul's ma. I hope you're well, Paul. I hope your mother's well. I hope your whole family are well, mate. Lovely to see you in the chat. Craig, will you ever create a TikTok account? No, mate. The world does not need me unleashed on TikTok, because my shit singing, shit jokes and shit dancing are bad enough on here without me creating a fucking TikTok account. I have flirted with it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Boyet said, I'd honestly like to try Kikir, but I don't want to waste time on a trial player, so to speak. Yeah, Ergücan Kikir, for those of you that don't know who he is a goalkeeper that plays for Trabzonspor in Turkey. He has been linked for quite a few years now with a potential move to Liverpool. I said this to you guys a couple of times, but even his former manager came out at one point and said that Ergücan Kikir told him that a deal was pretty much done for him to join Liverpool. So again, I can't see it happening personally, but I don't know. We are where we are, so let's just wait and see what happens. How does everybody feel about this summer, by the way? Let me put this back to you guys as well. Is anybody a little bit annoyed that we might make a transfer in this summer, or do people understand the reasoning behind it? It's going to short-term pain for long-term gain. And I know it's not palatable. I get it. I'm hurting as much as everybody else. We all had the quiet summer last year, and we hoped that this summer was going to be the one where maybe we let loose a little bit and brought in a couple of signings. And to be fair to the owners, they couldn't have seen this coming. No club's owners could see it coming. So again, I'd love to know what you guys think on that one. Don't want Karius and Coutinho. We've moved on to the Watches of London. Yes, Craig, TikTok, do it, said the man with the plan. I've always been a little bit wary about TikTok as well because of those rumours around it having some spyware in it. I don't know how true that is or how true it isn't. I don't know. Maybe everything that we have on our phones has some level of spyware built into it or some capabilities of keeping track on us. I don't know. But never say never. But just at this moment in time, I don't think the world needs to suffer me with TikTok. Aaron Sean said, fuming if we don't buy anybody again. But do you understand the reasoning behind it, Aaron, mate? It's not because the owners are just being tight. It's because they're just trying to be prudent. And they're just trying to make sure that we don't end up in financial peril down the line. Justin Merrifield said, do you think Arsenal could beat Manchester City on Wednesday? I can't see it happening at all. I think, yeah, like yourself, Justin, mate, I'm more wishful that it happens, but I don't know. Actually, shout out, by the way. I will be going, Claude from AFTV. I'll be going on Claude's channel tomorrow. Claude is also on Hot Mic, by the way, and this show tomorrow is going to be on Hot Mic as well. I'm going over at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and I'm going to be joining Claude and the Bances for their Premier League preview show. So again, make sure that you download that Hot Mic app. Put in the code Anfield, sign up for us first, give us a follow, and then go down and give Claude a follow as well. I always enjoy catching up with Claude, with Diesel, and with Terry over there. I know Sophie Richardson is going to be on there tomorrow as well, and I think there's a Chelsea fan going to be joining us. For the life of me, I can't remember the gentleman's name. I've never met him before, but I'm looking forward to interacting with those guys and chatting about the return of the Premier League. So yeah, make sure you give those guys a follow as well, and keep an eye out for that one tomorrow because I'm really looking forward to it. Claude's an absolute gent, one of my favourite people to talk to. He is as honest as the day is long. He's just a top fella, as are everybody involved with his channel, to be fair. I don't want Coutinho back because he's an example for every player who wants to leave and fail. Can come back because the grass is not as green on the other side. Love you, says Unicorn Star Horn Love Roblox. What a name, mate, but love you too. Thank you very much. Claude is funny, genuine guy, said Elijah John 5. He really is. I tell you, he's as sound as a pound, and he is not begrudging Liverpool. I'll tell you how nice of a fella Claude is. Claude said to me one time that he remembers when Arsenal came to Anfield and won the league title, not the Premier League title at the time, but still the first division, and that Arsenal were applauded off the pitch by the Kop and the Liverpool players and staff after coming and beating us 2-0 and winning the league title. Claude remembered that gesture from Liverpool fans, and he hasn't forgotten it. So fair play to him, because he said to me that you guys deserve it. You deserve to win the league. And he's done nothing but wish as well. So yeah, so again, what a class act he is. I think you all know that anyway. Tim Lamb said other clubs in our position right now would capitalise, but we don't because of money, which I don't fully agree with considering the revenue we've acquired. It isn't about what we've acquired though, Tim. And again, I'm not qualified to really talk about football finances. I know a tinsy bit. But what I will say is we cut our cloth accordingly, and I know that's a phrase I keep using, for the income that we knew was coming to us and the income that was projected to come to us down the line. Now, thankfully, we haven't overcommitted ourselves, but the club don't know. Like, let's use as an example. If football fans were to get back inside the stadium for the start of the Premier League season, which might start, let's say, September time. Let's say it starts in September time. Then the club would go, all right, well, we can take the hit for the end of this season. We're going to lose X amount of money. Everybody still has to pay back some television rights revenue, I believe, as well. They're just trying to be prudent, mate. They're just erring on the side of caution. If we knew right now that at the start of next season, fans were going to be allowed back inside the stadium, I fucking guarantee you that we'd be out there signing players this summer. But they're just trying to do the right thing. And I know it's difficult, and I want to be on here talking about us signing players as well. And I have been sceptical at times about the expenditure and stuff like that, but this is one of those situations where even I have to put my hands up and just say, I get it. I understand why we're not committing money right now. And I know that you look at Chelsea and you might look at other clubs and think, well, they're doing it, why can't we? I explained last night as well, David Maddock on that excellent Blood Red podcast said that Roman Abramovich has had to write a loan of something like 250 million quid to Chelsea. And I don't know why or how that works out, but our owners are just trying to make sure that we're going to be solvent and that the club's going to be in a good financial footing moving forward. And they've done brilliantly since they've come in to put us in this position. But I get it. I do understand the frustration, absolutely. Craig Fergie's best attribute was refreshing. Peppa said it's harder to stay on top. The club doesn't understand the dangers of not being proactive. Again, mate, they're very good points that you've made, Alex. And Sir Alex Ferguson, as much as we all despise Manchester United and what he did there, you're right. He was good at knowing when the right time to get rid of players was. Roy Keane as an example. Who else did he let go? He probably got that one wrong, to be fair, with regards to a centre-back situation. But he knows when to let players go. And there is no sentiment in football. You're right, mate. You have to be ruthless. And the best managers usually have that streak in them. So I can't disagree with a lot of what you're saying. But I would also say to you that our owners aren't stupid. They know that right now Liverpool are in a fantastic position, and us being more successful will increase the value of this football club, and in turn their sale or their exit strategy down the line. So it's in their interest for us to continue being good and continue to bring in better shirt sales and continue to bring in more corporate partnerships, continue to bring in more sponsors, continue to do the things that they've been doing. So they're not fools. That's all I'd say, mate. They're not fools. They know how to run a sports club. I don't want to say the word franchise because it's very American in its language, but they do. It's the truth. The truth. Could that be more Irish, by the way? It's the truth. Right, Fergie was a class manager, said Paul Scott. Look, even I, the most fucking biased Liverpool fan, can't sit here and say that Sir Alex Ferguson was not a truly fantastic man. He was. Come on. Even I have to admit that, like, he was. He's up there in the pantheon of greats of the sport, without a shadow of a doubt. But it's their turn now to try and claw back. It's their turn to try and get back and catch up with their 20, and it looks like it's going to be 19 and we're on the way. So, we're in a good spot right now. Craig, who would you have as a partner for VVD if for some reason we could buy anyone? Aaron, mate, I'm not just saying this. Joe Gomez, to me, is perfect to partner Virgil van Dijk. That doesn't mean that if we moved on Lovren, I wouldn't like us to go out there and try and bring somebody in, mate. But I think what we have right now, it's pretty good. And we also have Sepp van den Berg and Keanu Hoover, who I know is a right back, but I think his future is thought of in a centre back position. So I think we're alright. And I think that Joe Gomez is perfect to play alongside Virgil van Dijk. He's got the athleticism, he's got the ball playing ability, and he's going to learn from one of the best of all time in that position. So honestly, mate, I know it's not a cop-out answer. The genuine answer is that I'm delighted that we have Gomez there. Now, if Gomez was to get injured, I do think there is a bit of a drop-off to Joel Matip, who's another very good centre-back. Very good centre back and has done great stuff for us. I love his little sauntering runs forward and stuff, but it's a bit precarious, especially with Dejan Lovren. Dejan Lovren, I'm not gonna lie, I love how much Dejan Lovren loves this football club, and I've no doubt that he's always given it all and left it all on the pitch for the club. But I do think it is the right time to move on Dejan Lovren. And that's not with any spite or horribleness, because Dejan Lovren should be looked up to as somebody who has fought through in his life and should be held up as a fantastic character who just didn't give up. He's been through shit in his life and he just kept going, kept trying to improve himself. He's been to a World Cup final, he's won a Champions League, he's won a Club World Cup, he's won a Super Cup, and he's about to win a Premier League title. So I'm not trying to have a dig at Lovren, but I just think it is the right time for him to move on. So if we were to move him on, yeah, I think it's the right time. Right, Gomez is the next best centre-back in the league, in my opinion, said Tim Lamb. Totally agree with you, Craig, on Joe Gomez, said Barry. You think we'll sign Koulibaly, Craig? I know what you're doing there, Sean. I know what you're doing, pal. But no. Would you take Thiago Silva if Lovren goes? You see, yes and no. I like the idea, if Dejan Lovren goes, of bringing in an older centre-back who might get us through 1 or 2 years. And that would allow the youth that we're speaking about to develop. So I like that idea in theory. It's just, I've no idea how much money it would take to sign him to Liverpool Football Club. I've no idea what his wages are at Paris Saint-Germain. I know he's leaving on a free at the end of the season, as is Edison Cavani, but I've no idea how much his signing on fee would be either. But in theory, yeah, Absolutely. I'd love to bring in an experienced centre-back for a year or two and allow the young players to develop. Absolutely. I'd rather that than we went out there and dropped 50, 60 million quid on somebody who's going to block the pathway for these young players to come through. So that's the kind of thing I would rather do. Craig, with the Nike kit deal as it is, wouldn't signing a big player pay for themselves through shirt sales? There's definitely some of that, Tony. I mean, it is a fair point. We do know that the Nike kit deal is going to be a guaranteed £30 million a season, and then 20% of all Nike branded LFC merchandise. So usually when people say sign a player and the shirt sales will pay for themselves, it's not really true. I think it was normally, if you don't have these type of deals, I think the merchants cut that any shop that sells a jersey gets, I think it's about 7 or 8% of the price of the shirt, if my memory serves me correct. But this deal, you're right, Tim, there is no denying, mate. It could sort of maybe pay for itself in some ways, but I get you, Tim. I get you. And this is the thing that I've struggled with the most as well, Tim. I've struggled with the idea of Nike not wanting to launch that Liverpool kit with a big splash, with a signing, with a massive unveiling, with some stuff happening all around the world, with LeBron James, Serena Williams, Drake and whoever else it might be, bigging up Liverpool. And so I get it. I do get that, and I don't have an answer to that one, pal. That's the one that I struggle with the most, because my limited knowledge of football finances has me stumped on that one like everybody else. So that's the one thing that I will make an argument back about most of these things, but that's the one part that I struggle with, if I'm being honest, is the potential income from a shirt sale. Yeah, it is tough. Connor said, remember all those links to De Ligt a while ago, and now the hype around him is fully dead. I'm going to defend De Ligt actually on this one, because like any other player that moves, it's difficult and you need to allow them to settle in. And on top of that, you have the fact that Matthijs de Ligt is only, 19 years of age, something like that. So he's gaining experience at Juventus at the minute. I don't think personally that Juve was the right move for him at the time. Like I've said about many young players who are doing well at the clubs they're at, and I would include Jadon Sancho, James Maddison, and maybe not Mbappe, but a lot of other young players in this. Like, stay at your club. Stay there for the time being. I would have, if I was advising Matthijs de Ligt, I would have said stay at Ajax for another year or two, mate. You'll be playing in the Champions League. You'll be doing well in the Eredivisie. You'll be playing with a good crop, getting great coaching, and those big moves will always be there. But who am I to second guess his decision making? He decided, along with his agent Mino Raiola, that it was time to move. He moved to Juventus, and look, whatever happens there, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So I said Nike deal will be massive. Only issue is if the money be reinvested into the club. That is one thing that I will say the owners have always done, mate. Any money that's been available to be brought in has been reinvested, or the manager has had the opportunity to use. Of all the sticks we can use to hit the owners over the head with, that one isn't one that I think is true, to be fair. They've made mistakes on certain things. The furloughing of staff was a massive own goal, massive PR fuck up. And more than a PR fuck up, it was just not right. And they've done other stuff as well, but I will say that they've always given Klopp anything that they brought in to be able to go and spend. I think that's fair for us to say that. Right, what else we got? Last shout out to Hot Mike as well, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do a check to see how close we're getting to this 2,000 follower mark, because when we get to 2,000 followers, we're going to give away a £50 Amazon gift card to one of our followers on there. We're just 31 followers now away from 2,000 on Hot Mic, so as soon as we get to that 2,000 mark, we will straight away pick a follower at random and announce which one it is and give you guys, or that person, that £50 Amazon gift card as a little thank you. Again, there is a link in the description, and use the sign up code Anfield. Again, if you want to sign up to become a member of the channel, ladies and gentlemen, membership is just 99p a month, and you can join by just hitting that blue join button that is up on the screen there now. You get use of all those emojis, you get the Anfield Agenda badges, and also, I forgot to mention this earlier on, you also get access to the Anfield Agenda Discord group, which is what we use to kind of discuss a few topics, and we go off topic as well. We talk about non-football related stuff in the Discord group. But yeah, if you're already a member, or you're somebody that just joined today, make sure to go into the community tab on the Anfield Agenda YouTube page, because that's where you'll see the link to Discord, and we want all of our members to be in that Discord group because you're paying for it as part of your membership, and we want you to help shape the future of Anfield Agenda, the topics that we cover, the direction that we head. So that's what we try and do in our Discord group. So again, if you are a member, make sure you click on it, and if you want to join to become a member, I'm just letting you guys know, one, how you do it, and two, where the link is for you to come and join the Discord group. And Brian has promised me that he won't bully anybody else, because Brian's a big bad bully, aren't you, Brian? Tell the truth, Mr. Morrissey. Big bad bully. We picked on Connor last night. We're going to have a little pick on Brian tonight. And I don't know, we'll probably pick on somebody else as well, because we love to just take the piss out of each other as well. Lewis said it's his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Lewis. Happy birthday to you, pal. I don't know if it is your birthday or not, but I like to take everybody at face value. So from all of us, mate, happy birthday. And I can see people in the chat saying it to you as well. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you guys a decision to make. I can finish the stream and just do it under the hour mark, or I can carry on for a few more minutes. I'll let you guys decide. If there's anything else you want to talk about, I'm happy to carry on for a few more minutes. But if you're sick of us and you want us to stay put, then I'm happy to fuck off as well, whatever you guys want me to do. Stephen Taggart, thank you, mate. You've upgraded your membership to become an Anfield Agenda Ultra. Really appreciate that. What you also get, Stephen, by becoming an Anfield Agenda Ultra is you get the Crack On podcast, mate, that we put out a couple of times a month. Again, they should be up there in the community tab, available to you to have a listen to as well. But welcome. We want more, said Robert O'Reilly. Again, I'm happy. I'm happy to piss off, or I'm happy to stay on for a little bit longer. No problem. The problem about Minamino is he'll not get enough game time. I think that he will, you know, mate. I understand where you're coming from, but the thing about Takumi is, and I'm calling him Takumi now because I'm feeling that, 7.25 million. What a player. What a player for 7.25 million. And it might take him a while to fully get up to speed. I'm not going to deny that. And I think he's been critical of himself. But I think we've got a player on our hands there. And I think that money's going to look like an absolute snip in time to come. More please, said Brian Morrissey. It's very unusual. Morrissey asks for more. Look at me on brand, by the way, with the old Nike polo shirt. You might have noticed that. I actually genuinely went out and bought a Nike one because I've been wearing an Adidas one for ages, and with us becoming a Nike football club, I've decided that I need a black, because I only wear black polo shirts pretty much, so I decided to go out and buy a Nike one to stay on brand. So there you go. It's working already. Shay Trainer said he's excited for Minamino. Please, sir, can we have some more? Of course you can, Tom, mate. My pleasure, sir. I do like these because I get to come in and have a little rant, and then I get to read out the news, and then I get to come in and have some fun with people as well. And you guys seem to be in absolutely flying form tonight, so delighted. What else is there? Takumi would be like Origi, our hero from the bench at Liverpool 6 times. Trent is better than Bissaka, said Sean Jones. I'm agreeing with you. I mean, Aaron Bissaka is a very good defender, but of course I'm Team Trent all the way. Paul Scott said, Craig, give us the link for Hot Mic. It is in the chat there. John Hamilton has just posted it in. But also, mate, if you just go to your app store, whatever app store it is, I don't know if you're an Android user or an Apple user, just put in Hot Mic into the search, mate, on there, and it'll come up straight away. It's a free app. You can download it for free. It's only available on mobile devices, by the way. There isn't a desktop version as of yet. But when you do download the app, make sure to put in the code Anfield for us, Paul. All capital letters, mate. And it is important. It is case sensitive, so it is important that you use all capitals. Right, what have we got? Do you think Liverpool need players? That's a straightforward question from Benjamin. I like it, mate. No. How do I phrase this? I was a lot more worried before the news that the African Cup of Nations would potentially be moved to 2022. I would like us to sign a couple of players, but I think we can get by with what we have for another season. Obviously, you have to allow for, as little injuries as possible, but it's very difficult to look at this and say we need players. We could do with players, and we could improve some backup positions for sure. But our first 11 and right through the squad is pretty good. I mean, it's difficult to look at who to bring in to improve this group. So the need word is what I struggle with there. Would I like us to sign some players? Yes, I would. No denying it. I'd like us to sign an attacking midfielder, maybe a wide forward, and then look at the left back backup position, if that's what Klopp wants to do. I don't know if he thinks Larouci or Adam Lewis are going to be the future, a left back after Andy Robertson. It's just the word need that kind of made me pause there. It wasn't the want, because I definitely want it, like everybody else. Justin Merrifield said, how excited are you for the Premier League restart now? Mate, you have no idea. Honestly, it feels like Christmas week, mate, when I was a child. I appreciate where we are now so much more than before football was stopped, because I understand how important football is. I've always thought I knew how important it was in my life, mate, but this, having no football for the past 3 months or so, even with the Bundesliga being back and the Liga starting back this week as well, it just hasn't given me the same buzz, mate, and I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm so happy to have Premier League football back, mate, and even just knowing that we're going to have a short turnaround between the end of this season and the start of next season, that excites me as well, because we could have football now potentially almost straight through for the next, God knows how long, because next summer you're talking about the Euros and that as well, the Olympics. A lot of football coming our way, mate. So yeah, I'm fucking really excited about it. Pundits say give youth players a chance. So we plan to use youth next season, and they criticise us for it. It is difficult. I mean, walking that tightrope is really difficult, because I understand. I'm somebody that always, in theory, says, yeah, want to give youth players a chance, but then it is the case that when we see, let's say, we were to see. Again, it's hard to pick out a youth player, because let's see we had an injury at centre back and Sepp van den Berg went in to play alongside Virgil van Dijk. As much as we'd be happy to see him getting the opportunity, we would have some nerves. Let's say it was going in against Sergio Aguero, Manchester City or something. It would make us a bit nervous, so it is tough to walk this tightrope between giving youth players a chance, because it's tough to get the right opportunities. But what I will say is, with the 5 substitutions the clubs are allowed to make now until the end of the season because of the current coronavirus situation, that might give us the opportunity to give more young players a few minutes for the rest of the season. So, yeah, I like it. I like that idea, and I think that this could actually in some way give these players a platform to be able to show the manager, Gaffer, I'm ready, give me an opportunity. We know that Harvey Elliott is probably ready to step up. We know that Curtis Jones definitely thinks he's ready to step up. And why not give them an opportunity? Why not? We need at least one elite attacker this summer, said Shea Trainer. Again, mate, I'm not going to deny it. I would say, I said earlier on, I'd like an attacking midfielder and a wide forward. So if I was to go back on that now, I'd be a hypocrite. But what I will say is I understand why we mightn't be doing business in this window. But that's not to say I wouldn't like us in an ideal world to go out there, Shay, and sign players, because I've been banging on about wanting to sign 2 players now for months. Shay Trainer's also really excited with the prospect of Harvey Elliott. What's the best game I've ever been to? Istanbul. Easy. Yeah, but look, if I'm talking about a Premier League game, I really enjoyed seeing Liverpool batter Everton 4-0 in the Merseyside derby. Yeah, that was a cracking game, because I remember going to it, and the whole talk around the game beforehand was Brendan Rodgers, Roberto Martinez, and Liverpool Everton going for that last Champions League spot. And that 4-0 victory we had over them at the time cemented Liverpool as being that club, being the club that would take that last Champions League spot. So I remember being there with one of my really good mates from school, and we really enjoyed that one. What have we got? Stephen says the Discord group, the one that was already in from back in the day. I can't remember, Stephen, mate. I honestly can't remember, but just click on the link in the community tab, and if you need it, I'm sure Connor or John will stick it into the chat there for you, Stephen. What have we got? I can't wait for the day we win the league and we can all celebrate here with our fans. Be very emotional. 30 years of hurt over, said David Carroll. Mate, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you on that one. And there's no place I'd rather be. I'm really looking forward to being able to be on here with all of my virtual mates and celebrate Liverpool winning the Premier League title. I still go back and watch the clips from the Barcelona game, mate. I mean, that night was amazing. That was my favourite night on this channel so far, without a shadow of a doubt. And hopefully we've got many more of these big nights to come. Oh yeah, Connor said don't post the Discord link in the chat. Of course. The stupid me. Yeah, he's right. Don't post the Discord link in the chat because then anybody can get into it. Leon said, Craig, you go to England every time you're on 888 Sport? Yes, mate. Yeah, usually London. Usually go over to London. I've only been over twice. But when we're over, you usually do a good bit of filming. So you'd have, let's say, 4 to 6 videos filmed when you're over there that they release over a staggered period. I think it was January when I was over there for the last lot of filming. Connor's going to post the Discord link on the community page on the channel. Thank you, mate. And yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have said post it in the chat. This is why I'm an idiot. John said I wasn't going to, don't worry. I knew, mate. I knew you wouldn't. Because, again, I'm the idiot in this conversation. Nobody else. Shay said our youngsters are really underrated. Do I have any non-Liverpool football shirts? Yes, mate. Anybody? Yeah. I'm an absolute chav, pal. I probably own more than 100 football shirts. I've got loads of MLS shirts. I don't have any other Premier League club shirts, obviously. But yeah, I collect football shirts, mate. I love them. Yeah, loads of them. Loads and loads and loads of them. What do I have planned on the day we win the league? I've been trying not to plan it, Barry. I've been trying to just play it by ear, mate, and wait and see what happens. I don't even know how I'm going to... Well, I know how I'll feel, but I don't know how I'll react. The Barcelona game was very difficult to predict because like we were going into a 3-0 down and we'd all hoped for a miracle, but that miracle actually unfolded and it was something that we didn't know was going to happen, whereas right now we know Liverpool are going to win the Premier League, so it's going to be weird in a good way. I don't know how I feel about it. That couldn't be true. Tell me that's not true, Harry. Please, mate, tell me that's a wind-up. Has Martin Atkinson been confirmed as the ref for the Merseyside derby? Oh, surely they wouldn't do that. I hope that's not the case. God almighty, I hope that's not the case. You're not an idiot, Craig. I am, mate. Trust me, I absolutely have my moments. Shay said German shirts top quality. Yeah, I've got a retro version of the Italia 90 German shirt. It's not an actual copy because it's from the Adidas website, but yeah, I love that shirt as well. That West Germany shirt is one of my favourite. Joanne said, and Joanne is our, and again, this isn't a mispronunciation, Joanne is our official Hot Mic counter-upperer, which is the title that we gave her. And we're only 29 followers away now on Hot Mic, ladies and gents, from hitting 2,000 followers. So if you want to help us out and be with a chance to win that £50 Amazon gift card, then please do download the app and put in the code Anfield when you sign up. And give us a follow, of course, as well. We're going to be on there Wednesday for the City Arsenal game. We're going to be on there for the Liverpool Everton game as well on the Sunday. And the rest of the season we'll be doing probably all the games both on YouTube and on Hot Mic. Would I accept Coutinho back? Accept him? Yes. I would accept any player that Jurgen Klopp wants, mate. I don't want him back. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and lie about it. I don't want him back. But your question was, would I accept him back? Yes. Anybody that puts on a Liverpool shirt, mate, has my respect and will have my support. 100%. But I don't want him back. And I'd be lying to you if I said I did. Approach made for Liverpool player training alone, said Eugene. Well, that is obviously Nathaniel Klein, mate, because Nathaniel Klein hasn't signed an extension. And you said that's from HITC, who I think is another Irish fella, if my memory's right on that one. So big up the Irish crew. Yeah, Nathaniel Klein must be that player because he's the only one I know that has been training alone and he hasn't signed an extension that would see him stay at the club for the prolonged part of this season. His contract is up at the end of this month and Nathaniel Klein, like Adam Lallana, is free to leave, although Lallana has signed that short-term extension. So I guess it's Kleiny. Craig, if I win, I'll be sending it back as a tip, said Rob Shepherd. Have you got a bet on, Rob? What's the bet? I do like a bet. Any Dortmund shirt, said Robert O'Reilly. No, mate, not at the minute. I don't like Puma, so I've been kind of given a wide berth, and it really annoys me because black and gold or black and yellow, I love that combination, and over the years I've loved a lot of the Dortmund shirts, but no, I don't even think I've any Bundesliga shirts. I've got the German national team one that I was speaking about, but I don't think I've any Bundesliga ones. Will you say when? Sorry, let me read this out again. I'm getting this all wrong. When were you least nervous for a Liverpool game? Mine was the second leg against Barcelona because I convinced myself we were out. When was I least nervous for a Liverpool game? Weirdly enough, I wasn't very nervous going into the Atletico Madrid game in the Champions League. I thought we'd turn that one around, so that game was a shock to me, if I'm being honest. Even during the game, I just thought, yeah, we're playing alright here. We'll get this sorted, and look, we know what happened, but yeah, it was probably the Atletico game, mate. I wasn't very nervous at all for that one. Is the story about Coutinho true? If by story you mean the Kevin Palmer one where he's made a personal plea to Jurgen Klopp to come back to the club and saying he'd take a wage cut, I don't know. I've no idea. It's a real story that has been printed. And Keith Jarabchin, his agent, has let it be known that Coutinho would like to come back to the Premier League, so that's no secret. I don't know. I don't know if he's had a conversation with Jurgen Klopp or not. I haven't got a clue. But the story that Kevin Palmer put out is certainly a true story in the fact that it's printed. But other than that, I haven't got a clue. And I've no reason to doubt Kevin Palmer. I don't know Kevin Palmer. I've never had any interactions with Kevin Palmer. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. What do you think about Pedro Chirivella leaving? I was happy with his performances in the cup games. I suppose everybody has ambitions to play. Yeah, look, Pedro Chirivella has gone and joined Nantes, isn't it, that he's joined in France? And he was offered a new contract at Liverpool, but he didn't think that he'd get the game time, and I'll never do anything but support a player who wants to play football. And Pedro Chirivella just wants to go and establish himself in a first team. So I genuinely wish him all the best with his career, and I hope that he has a great career. Joanne said it's not being confirmed about Martin Atkinson. Thank Christ. Yeah, that's not what we want to happen. We don't want Atkinson being anywhere near our games. HITC is a football website. I'm almost convinced that there's a guy, an Irish guy, that does their YouTube channel. I'm almost certain of it. Again, I don't know his name. I know he's very popular. But I'm almost certain there's an Irish guy involved in that does a YouTube channel. Now, again, pull me up on this if I'm wrong, but I think there is. I don't know his name, though, as I said. What have we got? He'd have a lot to prove. Fans would be supportive, but a lot of eyes would be on him and show why he should be in the team with regards to Coutinho, said Mr. Mac. Look, if he comes back, I'll absolutely support him like anybody else, but my honest opinion is that I would rather we gave Gini Wijnaldum a new contract, gave Virgil van Dijk a new contract, gave Harvey Elliott a new contract, and reward the players who have gotten us to where we are. Connor said the guy on HRTC literally calls himself the Irish guy. Well, there you go. I knew he was Irish. See, us Irish, we're everywhere on YouTube, taking over the shop. How many points are we clear again? I don't have enough fingers or toes. Uh-oh. I guess it'll just have to be 20 fucking 5. Yeah, 25 points. Could be 22 points come Wednesday, but we all know that 6 more points for the Reds maximum and the league title is theirs. What is there? I fear the Sunday League atmospheres will affect our performances. I don't know, Barry. It's a fair show. Nobody knows how playing behind closed doors will affect any teams. I mean, one thing that I think I remember reading from the Bundesliga is that the home advantage has almost been wiped out. And I remember, I think it was Jamie Carragher spoke about this recently. Maybe it was today. Something along the lines of, if it was this time last season and the title race was as close as it was between City and Liverpool, that if it was being played behind closed doors, he wouldn't be as confident for Liverpool to go on and do, because we feed off the atmosphere of the crowd a lot of the time at Anfield. And look, it's a valid point, but thankfully we're not in that position and we're absolutely a country mile ahead. Connor said 25 fucking points. When you stop to think about it, it's genuinely ridiculous. That's why I'm so baffled, mate, by the Stan Collymore nonsense from earlier on, because we are 25 points ahead because we are doing ridiculous things. 1 loss and 1 draw, and the rest wins. So to say that it's because the people around us aren't very competitive, I just think... I know I ranted about it earlier on, but it really did have me fuming when I read it, because this group should be held up and respected for what they are, which is one of, if not the best club team in Premier League history. Now, obviously, they have to go on and do that over a prolonged period, but if we rack up over 100 points this season, then in my eyes, we go down as the greatest team in Premier League history because we'll have put up the most points in the history of the league. So, I don't think that you can argue with that. Although, opposition fans will, of course, argue with it. Now, I wouldn't respect you if you didn't. Liverpool will benefit from no fans of Goodison because Everton fans celebrate corners. Oh, that's a belter of a comment, mate. Well in. Well in, sir. I tip my hat to you. Well in. Oh, Brian's put a link into his Discord in the chat. I got a bit worried there for a second, Brian. I was thinking, no, Brian Morrissey's gone all Craig. But no, Brian has set up a Discord group for anyone that wants to join it. It's LFC Fans for Anti-Racism. It is a Discord group started by our very own Brian Morrissey. The link is in the chat if you want to join that and talk to other Liverpool fans or other football fans as well. Please do use that link that's in the chat there. And thank you, Brian, for your good-hearted, good-natured self, mate, for setting that up, because I know Brian's a big bad bully on here, but genuinely he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever have the pleasure of meeting. Connor said the whole no one else's competitive argument is bollocks. If it were so easy to beat underperforming teams, then PSG would win every single game in Ligue 1. Fair point. Malcontent said Atkinson confirmed on Sky Bet. On Sky Bet? When did Sky Bet start confirming things? That's not me being snarky, that's just a genuine question. I would imagine if he was confirmed on Sky Bet, then it would be confirmed on Sky, and I'm yet to see it on the app. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying strange that it would be convinced or it would be announced on Sky Bet. I don't know. Dave said no, Atkinson is the ref. Oh God, it's like they just want to give us a kick in the bollocks. I mean, why put that fucking clown in charge of such a big game? I don't get it. He already tried to rob us at Old Trafford. Actually, he did rob us, let's be fair about it. Him and VAR robbed us of that win. And now he's in charge again. And no doubt will try to become the centre of attention. So, yeah, I don't know. You all despise him as much as I do, I'm sure. You need to listen to Sky Sports News. I don't need to do anything, Eugene, mate. And the less time I spend watching Sky Sports News, the better, because it's not great, if I'm being honest about it. Yeah, but I definitely don't need to do anything, pal. I try and spend as little time listening to other people's opinions as possible when it comes to football. He did rob us at Old Trafford, Elijah John 5. Atkinson confirmed the ref. Everton fans calling it a fix for Liverpool. For Liverpool! We all fucking despise Martin Atkinson. We don't want him anywhere near our games. So for Everton fans, this is the same Everton fans that, you know, posted in their own website and their chat room, let's 30,000 of us show up at the game so it gets cancelled and Liverpool don't win the league. Although they also threw in a slur in there as well towards Heysel for no fucking reason whatsoever. So yeah, look, what Everton fans think, I really couldn't give a fuck about, mate. Genuinely. You started wearing Nike brand, Craig. I did, Mark, and I did it for the exact reason you probably think I did it, because Nike are going to be Liverpool's kit manufacturers, so I went down and bought myself some Nike tops. Yeah, I am that loyal. Or naive, whichever way you want to look at it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call that one a night. As I said, make sure to download the Hot Mic app for a couple of reasons. Let me just pull the image up before I go. Firstly, I'm going on to join Claude and the Bances on there tomorrow night. I'm going to do their Premier League preview show ahead of the launch of the Premier League this week. I'm looking forward to catching up with Claude, with Diesel, with Terry, with Sophie, and I think, as I said, there's a Chelsea fan as well whose name slips my memory at this moment, so I apologise for that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that one tomorrow night. I'll be back down with a late night agenda as soon as I finish that stream tomorrow night, so make sure you've got your notifications turned on. Probably be a bit later tomorrow night with our start time because of doing that one with them. Probably be about 9 o'clock maybe. But look, as always, thank you so much for spending your time with me on this Sunday evening. I appreciate every single one of you guys, the time, the support that you've given us from day one. Thank you. Really mean that. Again, I hope that you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below as well if you're watching this back. I'll chat to you amazing people tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Lots of love to you all. And up the motherfucking Reds. Whoa. Gonna have to stop this one. Scott Max put in a £20 super chat, so I have to address it. And Scott, thank you very much. Letting players return having flopped elsewhere shows the current team that the door is open and risk free. That said, if you made a substantial local charity donation, I'd offer him a chance to You'll Never Walk Alone Again. Firstly, mate, thank you so much for the extremely generous super chat, Scott. Means the world to us, pal. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if he did come back, Scott, if he did address it. Like if he made a public statement, or I wouldn't necessarily put pressure on him to make the charitable donation, because I know pretty much every footballer do great work for charities, whatever the charity close to their heart is. But yeah, it would be interesting to see what he would have to say, Scott, if he did come back, mate. So thank you so much, Scott, for the super chat. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call that one a night. As I said, I just had to address Scott's very generous super chat there at the end. Look, I'll talk to you all very soon. Lots of love to you all, and up the motherfucking Reds.